Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode number 23 of the EAFC25 Road to Glory career mode here with Sheffield Wednesday, and we will be starting off in our first game against 19th place Derby County. Before the game, with Ikugbo back from his short-term injury, we did have a couple of messages from our two main strikers, Bailey Kadamaturi and also the man Ikugbo, both asking to start this game. Ikugbo claiming he's back fit, he's ready to play. Kadamaturi obviously wants to play, obviously he's been in Ikugbo's place that last game, and we did go for Kadamaturi in this game. But with us coming up against a team that is battling relegation at this stage, we did change the team up, and you'll notice the one big change is in the goalkeeping department, with Alex Parkinson starting in goal for us in place of Pierce Charles, just to give him a run out, just to give him a bit of game time. Obviously he's still a young goalkeeper, so we want to give him as many opportunities as we can, although Pierce Charles is obviously our number one. We want to give him a chance when we can. We felt Derby was a perfect team to give him that chance too, but unfortunately it was Derby who got offered a better start. A decent shot there from Salverson, but the man in goal, Parkinson, who we just spoke about, did manage to make the save. And then about half an hour into the game, the ball comes in. It was another of the youngsters, Jenkins, with a really poor header, trying to get that header away from a free kick, and it falls to the man who had the shot earlier on in the game, Salverson, and he put it past Parkinson. So not a clean sheet on this game for him, and unfortunately we did go 1-0 down to Derby, which was against the initial scripting, obviously, with Derby being 19th in this game. So unfortunately it was a mountain we would have to climb back from being 1-0 down, but we got a decent chance here from Kadamaturi, a good ball in from Devin Long from deep on that right hand side, but unfortunately the header couldn't quite hit the target and did go wide of a post. And then Derby came back, the defender sends back Max Clark with the shot. Again, fortunately for us, Parkinson was on his game here and he did make the save and tip around the post for a corner, which came to nothing. So we did go into half time with that 1-0 deficit, but fortunately for us, just 4 minutes into the second half, Kadamaturi did repay our favour, obviously starting him in this game ahead of Ikugbo. The ball coming in from Jan Valery on that right hand side, again from deep, similar to that cross from Devin Long, and this time Kadamaturi was there, could get his header on target and put us back into a 1-1 draw position. And then obviously from there we started to look to really build, get a really good chance here from Alan Campbell. It was the two Campbells combining, Alex Campbell playing it in, Alan Campbell getting the shot away, but unfortunately from close range the Derby goalkeeper did manage to keep it out. And then Derby got a chance of their own. The goal scorer Salverson got another shot away, but unfortunately for him dragged it wide of a post, and the scores did stay at 0-0. And then we gave another chance to the youngster Sean Garner coming on that left wing for Alex Campbell. He's actually really impressed when he's come on in these games, to be fair. He's only young, but he's looking really good, and you can see him here on the ball, plays it into Campbell, plays it into Ingleson. Ingleson gets shot away on his weaker right foot, but once again saved by the goalkeeper to keep the scores at 1-1 once again. And then Derby obviously just playing the ball around the back a little bit. We tried to nick it, couldn't quite get the ball off of them, and then in the end it's Max Clark who gets the pass into McNamara pings it long. It's the young centre-back Drake who gets the header, a really poor header to be fair, straight to Kemar Roof. Kemar Roof plays in Salverson, Drake's out of position, we're wide open defensively, and Salverson manages to get his second goal of the game. Parkinson came out, maybe a little bit of inexperience from the goalkeeper coming out that far, lost in no man's land, and Salverson just chipped the ball over him to give Derby that lead back and put them up 2-1. But we were going to keep trying. Campbell gets a decent chance here, cuts in, gets a shot on his right foot, unfortunately saved by the goalkeeper, and then follow up shot of his left foot this time, unfortunately couldn't get it on target, and it did hit the side netting. So then we did decide to make the change. We did decide to bring on Ikugbo for Kadamaturi. As I say, obviously we told them both that we were happy to play them both, so this was a chance for Ikugbo to come in and hopefully get a goal for us and show why he should have started this game, obviously with Kadamaturi getting a goal. But then it fell to Ingleson. Ingleson gets another decent shot. We know what he can do with that left foot of his, but once again the Derby County goalkeeper was there to keep the ball out the back of the net, and unfortunately for us we did actually lose that game, which before the game we definitely shouldn't have, and it was a fairly even game to be fair, but Derby did come out 2-1 winners, 2 goals for Salverson for them, and that was the difference between the two teams. But coming off back of that game, Freddie Herbert, the young striker, we converted him to a right winger, and we did put him on a playmaker sort of training course. Obviously his passing is his weakest attribute at the minute, so we thought that would be the best one for him. And then we did get another short-term injury, Jan Valery. Once again, it's only 5 days, so he should only, if any, miss the next game. Possibly he might be back for the next game. And then we do get the two messages from the two strikers, Kadamaturi and Ikugbo, both got game time. Kadamaturi probably the happier of the two, obviously getting a goal, but both got game time, so they're both happy. And then there's the confirmation that Jan Valery, very short-term injury, and is back ready to play. But just looking at the table now, Forest still top of the league. They're obviously running away with this league at the minute, and there's no reason as to why they shouldn't. Obviously the players they've got, and unfortunately we are down to 14th. Obviously when we looked at this table last time we were up in second place, but we're down in 14th, but we're not actually too far off the playoffs. There's a lot of teams in and around that spot who could get it, and then obviously down the bottom we shouldn't be troubled by relegation, I wouldn't have thought, but you never know. So we obviously want to get off to some winning ways, and we'd had a couple of games coming up that were against teams that were in and around that relegation battle. So we've got Wigan obviously away in this game, they're down there. We've got Stoke coming up as well, who are down there, and also Oxford, who are down there as well. So we wanted to get off obviously to a good start in this game, and we did play Wigan, and we decided we're getting a bit boring, so we decided to change up the formation. We actually decided to play a really attacking formation against this Wigan team and change to a 4-2-4 formation, bringing both Ugbo and Kadamaturi as the two strikers, Jamal Lowe and Alex Campbell on the wings, and hopefully our attack could outdo their defence. And we got a good chance early on from Ugbo and a decent header there from Kadamaturi himself, but unfortunately couldn't get the header on target, and the ball falls to Ingleson 5 minutes before the end of the first half. And what does Ingleson do best? He scores goals with that left foot of his, and he rifles one, as we've seen so many times throughout this series, rifles one into that top corner across the goalkeeper to give us a 1-0 lead, and that 4 attacking formation seems to be paying off. But the lead didn't last long. The wayward shot from Robinson fell into the Wigan attacker and just bundles it in, no one around him. It was a complete luck goal, to be honest. That shot completely mishit from Robinson, and the attacker was just there just to poke it in. So unfortunately it was 1-1 at this stage, but it definitely didn't deserve to be 1-1. We definitely deserved to win this game. I mean, just before half time, the goal scorer for us, Ingleson, gets another good shot of that right foot of his from the edge of the box, but couldn't quite get it past goalkeeper on this occasion, and we did go into half time with that 1-1 draw. And then Ingleson once again gets another shot, this time a little bit too much power, too much height on it, and it did rattle the crossbar to stay out back of the net. But we brought Garner on once again. He came on for Kadamaturi in this game in his preferred striker position. He finds Ingleson once again. Ingleson, decent shot, tries to get it across his body, but unfortunately the Wigan goalkeeper was there to keep the ball out back of the net and once again keep the scores at 1-1. But then from a resulting corner, I often couldn't quite win the header. The ball falls in the end to Jordan Amavi. Jordan Amavi can't quite get there ahead of a Wigan attacker, but does win the ball back. It's that youngster again, Garner, and this is what I mean of how good he's been. He gets down that right hand side, plays the ball in. Ingleson's there, but unfortunately hits the post, so he's hit the post, he's hit the crossbar, and he scored a goal in this game. So he could have had a hat-trick in this game, but unfortunately has only got that one goal so far. And then from the break from Wigan, they do unfortunately get another goal for themselves, Asamoah. So we were on the attack, we had multiple chances during that little phase of play, but unfortunately the break of play, we get caught out. Asamoah's there and he fires it past Pierce Charles back in our goal for us, and gives Wigan a probably undeserved 2-1 lead, to be fair. But then Wigan started to really play on. Asamoah with another decent chance, but once again Pierce Charles showing why he's the number one, keeping that ball out back of it. And a big moment from the game, the captain of the club, the Sheffield Wednesday legend Barry Bannon, is back from injury, coming on as a substitute for Nathaniel Chalobah in this one to try and steer us back from this losing position into hopefully a draw or at best case scenario a win. And we got a chance there. Ikubo with a decent shot, but unfortunately from close range was saved by the goalkeeper. And then Devin Long once again plays the ball over. Ikubo's there that time, no one around him, free space, gets a volley in and puts it in the back of the net to bring us back to that 2-2 position. And a point at this point should be the very minimum we expect. Hopefully, obviously, we can get another goal, but as a minimum, that point will be a good point for us. And then just 5 minutes before the end of the game, it's the youngster again getting loads of spells of ball here. Garner plays it into Ugbo on his left foot. Unfortunately, that left foot isn't as good as his right foot, and he fires the ball wide of the post, and the scores do unfortunately stay at that 2-2. But we go straight into the third game of the episode against Oxford, another team battling relegation. Once again, having to change the team around a little bit due to fitness concerns. Piotrowski coming in right back, moving Jan Valery over to left back in this one, and Barry Bannon starting this game as well. So hopefully having him back in the starting lineup can be a real boost to every single one of these Sheffield Wednesday players. And we knew against Oxford we had a chance to get a victory here and hopefully start building those points back up and building ourselves up the table. And the first chance falls to Campbell, unfortunately blocked by the defender from close range, but Campbell gets back, he does manage to win the ball back, plays it into Ingleson plays it out to Devin Long plays it into Campbell once again. Campbell with another decent shot, but again unfortunately saved by the goalkeeper and put behind for a corner. So some good early opportunities for us, and then just 8 minutes later another corner we get. Ingleson plays it in. Unfortunately we couldn't get the header from that one. The ball comes out to Campbell once again. Ingleson looks to play the ball across, and it's the man playing right back in this game, Piotrowski, is there just to nod that one down past the goalkeeper and give us a 1-0 lead. So obviously, as we said, Piotrowski coming in right back, shifting Jan Valery over to left back due to Jordan Amavi's fitness, and it is Piotrowski who gives us the opener and gives us that 1-0 lead, which hopefully we can build on. And then sort of 15 minutes before the end of the game, we do manage to get a free kick, a little push in the back on Alan Campbell there, just on the edge of the box, and it initially looked like Jamal Lowe was going to take this one, but we thought, no way Jamal Lowe's taking this one, we're giving it to the man, the myth, the legend, Barry Bannon on that left foot of his. He looks to just curl one around the wall, and what does Barry Bannon do best? he scores free kicks. What a free kick from Barry Bannon into that top corner. Goalkeeper had no chance, the wall had no chance, and Barry Bannon's return from injury, his first start back from that long-term injury, is capped off with an absolutely great free kick. Obviously we know he's retiring at the end of the season, unfortunately, so we need to make most out of him whilst we've got him, and he will do that as much as he can. And then straight from a kick-off, we're obviously 2-0 up at this stage. We do manage to win the ball back straight from their kick-off. Jamal Lowe uses quick feet and dribbling, plays the ball into Alan Campbell. Alan Campbell plays it into Piotrowski. Piotrowski finds Ugbo in the box, and Ugbo smashes that one in the back of the net. So just 2 minutes after we scored our second goal with that free kick, we do make it 3-0, and it is that man, Ugbo, getting not regular goals now, but obviously getting back on the score sheet more than he was. He did go for a bit of a goal drought, so it's good to see him back in the goals. But Oxford, were obviously, they were down at this point, obviously being 3-0 down. They were going to keep pushing. They did manage to get a goal back. It is Rodriguez who gets that shot away. He found loads of space in the box there, to be fair. Our defence not performing very well, and he manages to get the shot away past Pierce Charles to make the scores 3-1. And then just a couple of minutes before the end of the half, some bad news for us. The Oxford player, I'm not sure who it is, he looks to play with his pace down that right wing. Bernard dives in, completely mistimes it, and unfortunately for us, although it's away from the goal, and you'll see on the replay, it wasn't a reckless challenge, I wouldn't say, it wasn't studs up or anything, but unfortunately the referee does decide to send off Deshaun Bernard. So we are down to 10 men in this game. We are 3-1 up, so we are in a good position. Obviously I'm not happy with the decision, but we are 3-1 up, so hopefully we could obviously keep the lead and maintain this one. But coming into second half, we did make a change. We brought in the young centre-back Kai Drake into that centre-back position just to give that centre-back cover. But Oxford obviously were going to be the team that were on top in this half, obviously having the extra man, and they made it count, to be fair. They get a shot away there from Harris. Fortunately for us, Pierce Charles was there to tip that one over us, but like I say, they were the team that were really building in this game. We did get the odd opportunity in this second half, but we knew that Oxford were going to be the team that were really going to be pressuring us, and it was all about us, how we could handle the defence. And from resulting corner, it's Moore who picks the ball up here on the right hand side. He doesn't really know what he's doing there, plays it into Koyoso. Koyoso plays it into El Mazzuni, he plays it into Harris, and Harris gets the shot away, free in space. Once again, the defence all over the place, and he does cut that deficit in half to a 3-2 lead for us, and this was dangerous territory for us to be in. Obviously, they've, as I say, Oxford's got the extra player. We're 3-2 up at this stage. They're cutting through us like a knife through butter, and they get another good shot there. But once again, Pierce Charles on his best form and keeps that one out to tip it up behind for a corner. And we know what happened in the last corner, so we wanted to make sure that didn't happen again. This time they play it straight in. The header comes in. Pierce Charles couldn't really read it, to be fair, but he did manage to get a fingertip to it and tip it behind for another corner, which luckily for us didn't come to anything. Then a couple of changes. Two youngsters, Sean Garner and Austin Hayward, coming on for Jamal Lowe and that man Barry Bannon. Obviously first start back from his injury. We didn't want to make him play a full 90 minutes, obviously with his age and stamina, and the return from injury, we wanted to protect him as much as possible, so we did make those couple of changes. But the game carried on how it was. Another good shot there from Oxford, but fortunately for us, once again Pierce Charles was there to push it behind and push the ball out for a corner. And then from a resulting corner, once again having to be as careful as we can with these corners, we do manage to win the header. I think that was Jamal Lowe who won the header. Garner looks to play it long, but unfortunately couldn't quite get the ball over. It did eventually find its way to Ugbo, found its way to Long, who's in acres of space here. He's got one defender between him and the goal, gets a shot away with that left foot, but unfortunately he isn't left footed, and that showed with a poor shot. Keeper managed to make an easy save, and the ball stayed out to keep the scores at 3-2. But fortunately for us, we managed to get a little bit of breathing space. Once again, it was Devon Long down that left hand side, really good step over to beat the defender. Plays it across the box, and Ikubo was there to tap it in for his second goal of the game and give us a 4-2 win, which was how the result finished, which was really good to see, and obviously back to winning ways. And there was confirmation of obviously Bernard's red card from that game, and then we go straight into, this is quick moving, straight into the fourth game of the episode at Stoke City. Again, another team who are languishing down towards the relegation places, but we did have a man that did seem to be picking up his form once again in Ikubo. 2 goals in that last game against Oxford, and hopefully he could get many more here. But even though Stoke were low down in the table, we know how much hassle they've caused us last season, and it was that man especially, Meinhof, who scored a fair few goals against us last season, so we definitely had to be careful of him. But luckily we did get off to a better start. 15 minutes in, Campbell plays the ball into Ugbo, the 2 players from last season who combine really well, combining once again, and Ikubo managed to hit that shot low and powerful past the Stoke goalkeeper to give us a 1-0 lead. But Stoke kept coming. They got another decent shot there from Manhoff, but a good save from Pierce Charles, and then it was our turn just before half time. Chalobah looks played Ingleson. What does Ingleson do? Fires it into that top corner. 2 goals in this episode, or 2 similar goals in this episode, should I say. Really good shots for that left foot. He'd done it all the time last season, and he's done it again once again here, and really good to see that from Ingleson to give us a 2-0 lead. And then as the second half came on, we actually built in this game. Campbell with some really good step overs, plays it to Ugbo. Ugbo gets a decent shot and gets his second goal of the game, so it looks like we might not have Ugbo back to his complete best, how he was performing at the start of the season with his goals, but if he can start scoring 1 or 2 goals per game, we're going to be in a very good position, and we'll definitely start climbing up that table sooner rather than later, so that's obviously really good to see. Unfortunately, Pierce Charles couldn't keep his clean sheet. Stoke did get a goal back. Just a bit of a scramble in the back there. Probably our defence losing a bit of concentration, being 3-0 up. And Stoke did manage to get 1 goal back. And we're hoping this wasn't going to be like the Oxford game where they got another goal back and got to 3-2. But fortunately for us, the score did end 3-1, which is how it ended. So 2 really good results to end this episode. And hopefully that will help us with the momentum going forward to build and get into a better place and really climb up that table towards those playoff positions. The final part of this episode, Paul Sullivan, the young right winger, we said from the start we wanted to convert him to a striker, so we have done that and put him on a new development plan. But that's going to bring this episode to an end. Hope you have all enjoyed it. As always, please subscribe to the channel to follow the journey. Comment any suggestions down below. Like the video and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-da.